Okay. What's up, everybody? Yes, we're live. I want to thank you all for watching. My name is Michael Music, and the conversation that I want to have today is still around persistence, right? There's still a few things to chat about, and today I want to talk about like what areas do you lack persistence in? Okay, um, let me take a step back. So we're gonna get to that now. A little bit about me. I've been reading this book, Think and Grow Rich, since I was 19. Then I decided, okay, maybe what if I could share my thoughts on this book and truly understand the depth that this book really does go. And so that's why I'm doing these lives. That's why I continue to do them because, at the end of the day, I truly want to understand what he means in this book. And, it would be awesome to truly get rich as well on the way. Now, now I want to start with actually the definite causes of persistence, right? I may have to rename the title, but he says that persistence is a state of mind, okay? And it can be cultivated. So how interesting is that, right? Persistence is a state of mind and therefore it can be cultivated. Okay? What does that mean? Right? If you want to develop persistence, right? Even if you aren't a persistent person, if maybe you have given up after your first experience of temporary defeat, whether that be in business or setting out for some certain goal that you set out for, right? Right? Can we develop our minds to truly become persistent minds so that no matter how many times we get knocked down, we do get back up and we continue forward. So he says also that like all states of mind, persistence is based upon definite causes. Okay, so what are those definite causes, right? How can we ensure that we develop and truly cultivate a persistent state of mind? So that's what I want to read first. So, A, right, starting with the first and foremost, the one of the things that Napoleon Hill has gone back to in many of his writings is definiteness of purpose. Okay, so do you know what you want? Do you truly know what you want? He says this is the first and perhaps the most important step towards the development of persistence, right? Do you have a strong motive towards what you want, right? He says this typically will force one to surmount many difficulties, right? So if you let me ask you this, right? If you don't know what you want, then is it fair to say that it's easier to give up on something, right? Why would you work so hard every single day if you don't know what you want in the end? Right? How can you possibly develop persistence if you don't know what you want your end result to be? Okay. So now, following definiteness of purpose is to desire. Okay. So so he says it's comparatively easy to acquire and to maintain persistence in pursuing the object of intense desire. So do you know what you want? And do you have a burning desire? Have you become obsessed with what you want, right? Is there any room to drift, right? Because if there is, that means one, you either don't know exactly what it is that you want, and two, you don't truly desire what it is that you want, right? So so we talked about this many times, but what is it like to develop a healthy obsession with your end goal? Okay, C is self-reliance. All right. So do you believe in your ability to carry out a plan? Right? Do you truly believe in your capabilities? Right? He says if you like believe in one's ability to carry out a plan will encourage you to follow through with that plan with persistence. Okay. And if you don't yet have self-reliance, how can you develop it? Well, he actually mentions that you can develop it through the principle described in the chapter on auto suggestion, right? So can you plant the idea that you are self-reliant into your subconscious mind? And the answer is yes, you can. Okay, part 4. or the definite major causes is definiteness of plans, right? Do you have organized plans, right? Even if right now they're weak and entirely impractical, right? Do you have organized and definite plans to get what you want, right? Jim Rohn said it best: don't start your day until it's written on paper, right? Have you written out what your plan is today to get you even 1/10 of 1% closer to your goal? Right? You have definite plans, because the fact of the matter is there is no truly successful person who didn't have a plan set in motion, right? What they did was they came up with a plan and they followed that plan. You will not find a successful person that just mindlessly wandered and stumbled upon serious success. Okay, E is accurate knowledge, right? Do you know that your plans are sound? Right? Are your plans based upon experience or observation, right? Are you just guessing that your plan is sound, right? So personally, the best plan out there is a plan that has already worked for somebody else, right? The truth is, if somebody else can do a certain thing that you want to do, then you know that it is possible, right? So that's why it's so important, right? Look up to people, look up to successful people, study successful people, see how they got there, see what was their plan, and do they have what I want, and is it worth emulating their plan to get there, right? So how does this relate to persistence, right? If you are guessing, if you think like, okay, I'm going to try this plan, it's a 50-50 shot it works or it fails, right? Are you going to follow through with that as much as, okay, here's a plan that my mentor has given me. It is, perfected to the T, right? He's already done the plan and it proven it works, right? So is it easier for me to follow that plan or a plan that I am just simply making up and guessing? Okay. Hope that makes sense. Now, letter F in the book, cooperation. Right? Are you able to like get into harmony with others? Right? Are you trying to be persistent all by yourself? Are you trying to spend like your time alone building out plans, recreating them, fixing them up, or can you just cooperate with others who may be able to help you along the way? Next is willpower, all right? Do you have the habit? Do you have the habit of concentrating your thoughts upon the building of plans for the attainment of a definite purpose? Right? He says this is what leads to persistence. Okay? So this is a mental faculty, your willpower. Okay? And that's really interesting. He calls it the habit of concentrating your efforts on developing sound plans, right? So, what does that mean, right? Am I continuously focusing my mental energy so that I continue to develop more sound plans and then apply the laws of persistence to follow those sound plans? Okay, so let's take a step back, right? Now it's making me think, what do rich people think about? Well, they continuously think about developing better plans for more riches, right? Why did the rich get richer and the poor get poorer? Because the rich develop plans. That's what they think about. The poor, right? Poverty, he'll say it later on in the book that poverty requires no plans. Right? You don't need a plan to be poor. You can just be poor. However, when it comes to attracting money, you need definite sound plans backed by definite action. Okay. So yeah, the question is like, do you have the willpower? Have you developed your will so that you are continuously now, right? Like, what's it going to take to develop the habit of thinking of plans? Well, it's going to take you doing it more than once, more than twice, more than three times, right? Right. The goal here is to start developing plans, and the more you do this, the more it becomes a habit. So, and finally, letter H is habit. Okay. So he says persistence is the direct result of habit. Okay. What is persistence the direct result of? He says the mind absorbs and becomes a part of the daily experiences upon which it feeds. Fear, the worst of all enemies, can be effectively cured by forced repetition of acts of courage. Everyone who has seen active service in war knows this. All right. So how do you cure fear? Sorry, I can't speak. How do you cure fear? Well, forced repetition of acts of courage. If you continuously put yourself out there, continuously go after what you want, that fear is going to start diminishing because you know that you have developed persistence and that no matter how many times you may experience temporary defeat, right, can you get back up and keep on going? Okay. So, yes, now I highly recommend you start taking inventory of yourself. Like read through this list, right? This is in the chapter of persistence, right? The definite causes of it, and evaluate, okay, where do I stand in these questions, right? Is there some questions that I hit and some questions that I'm missing the mark on or my target? So that is that. All right, cool. So we got still some time for the symptoms of lack of persistence. All right. So he says that these are the true enemies that stand between you and noteworthy achievement. All right. So I think it's very, very recommended that we go through this list. Okay. Number one is failure to recognize and clearly define exactly what one wants. Right. This is literally the same thing as the first definite cause of persistence, right? Have you are you failing to recognize exactly what you want? Have you written it down yet? Have you right? Are you missing the mark? Are you just thinking, oh, okay, I want more money, right? I could send you $1 and then boom, you got more money. Is that what you really wanted? No. I know you want more than that. So let's get clear and definite about it. Number two is procrastination with or without cause. All right. And he says that this is usually backed up with a formidable array of alibis and excuses. So are you procrastinating? Right? Do you lack the ability to make decision? Three, lack of interest in acquiring specialized knowledge. Right? Are you not willing, or are you, let me ask you in a positive way, are you willing to go out and acquire the right specialized knowledge that you need to build definite sound plans? Number four is indecision. Okay, the habit of passing the buck on all occasions instead of facing issues squarely. And he says this is also backed by alibi. So procrastination and indecision, he mentions they're like twin brothers, right? Where one is found, you'll find another closely nearby. So are you, lacking the ability to make a decision? And what is the prerequisite for making a decision? Well, it's the question, do you truly want it? Right. So that's why rich and successful people make decisions at the snap of a finger because they know exactly what it is that they want. So, do you know exactly what it is that you want? And are you willing to face the issues head on so that you can make the proper decisions in a timely manner and keep going forward? Okay, number five in the symptoms of lack of persistence is the habit of relying upon alibis instead of creating definite plans for the solutions of problems. Okay, so right here you got excuses, right? Your old story, right? I was abused, this happened to me, that happened to me, covid happened to me, blah, like not saying blah blah blah, I'm not saying it's unimportant, but these are alibis and excuses. Or am I going to focus my mental energy on creating definite plans to get me exactly what I want? Or let me rephrase that. Am I focusing my mental energy on creating definite plans for the solutions of problems? Okay? Right? What are you going to focus on? Number 6 is self-satisfaction, right? So are you comfortable with where you're at? Right? Are you truly like not looking to grow? Because if you're not, then you can definitely lack in the persistence department. Number 7 is indifference, usually reflected in one's readiness to compromise on all occasions rather than meet opposition and fight it. Right? Are you willing to let life give you like give you a set of cards, and that's how you're going to live your life? Like, are you going to let life determine how you let me take this back. Are you going to let outside influences determine how you are going to live your life? Or are you going to say, no, I am going to live my life this way. I'm going to live it like the rich do, and the environment is going to make room for me to live the life I want. Number 8, right? Do you have the habit of blaming others for your mistakes? Right? Do you accept unfavorable circumstances as being unavoidable, right? So are you going to either blame others for the fact that you're not rich yet, or are you going to take accountability and acknowledge, okay, right now I'm not in exactly where I want, and truthfully, it's my fault. It's the way I've been thinking, and I am here because this is like I got myself here. Now I can get myself out, but I have to acknowledge, like, did I get myself here, or am I just gonna, take the easy route and blame everybody else but me? Number 9, right? Do you have a weak desire, right? Are you neglecting the choice of motives that impel action, right? Do you not really care about living the life that you want? Do you not really care about your goal, right? Have you just written it down and let it sit on your shelf? Or are you getting emotionally involved in that goal every day and truly building up that desire, right? Do you not believe that it's possible, that what you want is out there and that you can have it? Okay, number 10, willingness, even eagerness to quit at the first sign of defeat, right? And this is typically based on one or more of the 6 basic fears. So let's say, you are going after your goal. You're going after your dream, right? Are you going to, like, immediately, temporary defeat comes your way, right? Maybe you messed up a step here or there, and are you going to immediately be like, nope, not for me, and go back and cower? Or are you going to be like, no, like, get out of here, temporary defeat. Maybe you knocked me down, but I'm getting right back up and I'm going for what I want. I'm going for that dream that I want. So it's like, how eager are you when things don't go your way to just, you know, curl up in a ball and hide and say, "Oh, that dream I had? Oh, what are you guys talking about? That I was being delusional about that." Right? Number 11, right? Do you lack organized plans? Do you have these plans placed in writing where they may be analyzed, right? Or do you think you have a plan, it's all figured out in your head, and that, that your mental ability is so superior that you don't need to write it down, right? You're probably lacking persistence because you don't have physical plans on where you're going, right? If you don't have real plans, then how are you going to have a map or a direction to get to the dream result that you truly want? Okay, do you have the habit of neglecting to move on ideas or to grasp opportunity when it presents itself, right? Has there been opportunities that have presented itself right in front of you and you neglected to take immediate action on them? Therefore, you technically are procrastinated. So when a good true opportunity presents itself, do you take action on it or do you neglect it? Number 13 is wishing instead of willing, right? Now, here's the deal, right? Do you wish you can have this goal, right? Did you write whatever your goal was down and be like, if I had this, it could be nice? Or are you willing to really sacrifice everything for this goal, for this dream life that you want, right? You gotta ask your question, am I able? Yes, we're all able to get what we want. No one can determine our ability. And then number 2, am I willing to go get it? Am I willing to tell my friends, no, I can't go out? Am I willing to like not listen to the outside world on what's possible? Am I willing to spend the needed time every single day getting better, getting 1/10 of 1% closer to my dream? Right? Are you willing or are you wishing? Number 14. Okay, do you have the habit? Are you willing to compromise with poverty instead of aim at riches? Are you telling yourself, "Oh, No, you should be happy with what you got. Right? Like, I got a house, I have a roof over my head. I should be grateful. I should be satisfied with what I have. It's more than enough. Think about the kids in Africa. It's more than enough. Like, we have it all, right? Are you compromising with poverty? I don't care if you have a good life, right? Right now I have a good life, but am I going to compromise with this level of living that I'm living at? It doesn't matter what level you're living at, or am I going to aim at riches? Right? Do you have a true ambition? Okay, number 15. Are you just searching for shortcuts, right? Trying to get without giving, right? Are you neglecting the fact that, if you want to get paid properly, then you have to give properly. There's laws of nature that state you basically have to give in order to receive, right? You can't just take. So are you trying to cut the shortcuts? Are you trying to gamble and make money fast without truly growing as a person, right? So so that's number 15. And finally, number 16. Okay, this one's so critical and it actually goes so in depth on this. I might actually have to do another episode on this one alone. Right? Do you have the fear of criticism? Right? Do you fear what others may say? Right? Do you fear what others may think about you for deciding that I'm definitely going to go after what I want? Right? Does this fear of criticism stop you from creating plans and stop you from putting those plans into action? Mm, Okay, now he says that this enemy, right, the fear of criticism, might actually belong at the head of the list because it generally will exist in one's subconscious mind where its presence is not yet recognized. Or you may not even be aware yet that you truly do fear what other people think of you, and that's what's holding you back, right? This is something that, every time I come around or across in this book, I have to acknowledge, do I still care about what people think of me? Or do I acknowledge that, what others think of me is none of my business and that I better keep on going through the storm so that I can get out to the other side that is promised in this book? Okay? So that's a question that I do truly have to ask myself and really look myself in the mirror and be like, Mike, like, do you actually let the fear of criticism stop you from building plans that can be sound and taking action on those plans that will get you to what you want or to where you want to be? So that may be worth having a conversation in itself. So so that's the conversation today, right? We talked about the symptoms of lack of persistence, and I even added in the definite major causes of persistence. So let me know what you got, like what takeaways did you have from this evaluation, even if you already read through it, right? What new awareness did you have today? Like, where are you at in terms of each one of these questions, right? Are you thriving in your ability to be persistent, or are you lacking in certain pointers of being persistent? So that was a conversation today. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'm extremely grateful for every single one of you that clicked this video and watched, because this is the truth, and it has to get shared out to the world. So I'll leave you all with this until we meet again in time and space. Bye everybody for now.